Mr. Kelly, how are you reacting to the Panorama programme last night?
Well, I suspect in the way that most people who saw the programme are reacting. I mean, people in nationalist areas and indeed further afield know that collusion took place on a colossal scale. When you see it in a programme such as this, and this is the latest line of information and line of evidence that we've seen, then I think people realise that it was systemic. And that's the issue here. It's not that there was collusion. The idea that it was rogue officers falls way short when you look at the Glenanne Gang, which was involved in over 100 killings. If you look to North Belfast here in terms of the Mount Vernon Gang, when there was a huge number of killings, there are dozens of killings there as well, then I think it is very difficult for those to argue that it wasn't systemic. That is not to say that every RUC person was involved in this. It is not to say that every British Army person was involved in it. But I could say without fear of contradiction, because the evidence is there to see both in court and outside it, that the RUC Special Branch was endemically involved in this, as was British military intelligence. And they were killing citizens, and they were allowing informers and informants and the state agents to do the same unhindered. And the claim that this in some way was a few bad apples, I think, has been put to bed. But we need that acknowledged. We need the present PSNI to acknowledge that. We need the delays in bringing forward evidence, for instance, to our coroners' courts and inquests. We need that to stop. And I think the best way to deal with this, because this drip feed of information, which is poisoning, frankly, the ability to move forward, needs to be dealt with. We have the architecture in the Stormont House agreement. We agreed it before Christmas, and I would argue, no matter what else is going on, that was more or less, well, it was agreed, and the detail of it is more or less agreed, that we should move ahead on that speedily. There are people right across this community, whether they belong to the unionist or the nationalist community, or indeed to the armed forces or anywhere else. There are families who want to find out what happened to their loved ones, and they have the right to know that. The one key issue in all of this, right across the board, the one agreement, no matter what part of our society you go to in terms of the victims and survivors community, is that they want the truth. We have argued many years, Sinn Féin has argued many years for a Truth Commission. We have the architecture now within the Stormont House agreement, and I would argue very forcefully that all the political parties should be supportive, and all other institutions should be supportive of moving ahead with it.
If I can ask you just about the discovery of the location of the rifle found in the museum. How can people have trust in the likes of any investigation that's come before this when those revelations come out today?
Well, I don't think they can have trust in an investigation which would take place which is not independent from the state forces. I mean, and it is as straightforward as simple as that. The thing that struck me when I saw that, which I didn't know about beforehand, when I saw it on the programme, was this was hiding in plain sight. That's what it was about. So they put it actually on display when they told the lies, and let's be frank about this, someone in there had to be telling the lies to say that this was disposed of and was done away with. It's not the first time this has happened. I hope it is the last, but unfortunately I believe there will be more revelations as we go ahead. And if you want to stop the drip feed, if you want to stop that type of pressure on victims and survivors, no matter where they come from, every month or every week or every month or every 6 months, then we need a process to bring all of this to the fore, and the best way to deal with that process has already been agreed. So let's not argue over it anymore. Let's get that set up. There's 150 million has been set aside to do that. Let's get the applications in to get a director designate for the HIU. Let's get the information recovery process set up. Let's get all of that set up.